3, 2, 1.
Hey there, so this is Bridget Michelle. I have another flight attendant video for you today. Today I'm going to talk to you really quickly about leading a healthy lifestyle when you are on the go as a crew member or whatever your job is. It's just very important to stay healthy and talk about the different ways that we can do that because it's very hard. Now, first of all, prices you get in airports and hotels, they are extremely expensive. So it really is smart to carry your own food when you have a trip. All right, tomorrow I actually have a 2-day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about some healthy habits that I have, and I'm going to show you my favorite recipe. Okay, so first things first, some really basic stuff. Drink lots of water. Yes, I know your mom and your dad always told you this, or your grandma, or whoever always said this, but what you want to do is add lemon and lime to your water. Google it and you will find out all the wonderful properties you get when you add that to your water. It helps your skin. They say it helps with weight loss, even cancer. So it's great for you and it makes your water taste better. So drink, drink, drink. You will get dehydrated and your skin will dry out when you start flying. Supplements. A word on supplements. Now, I read an article in Scientific American maybe a year or two ago, and it said that the verdict is out on if vitamins really help you or not. The reason is this. It depends on what you're taking. It depends on if you're male or female, your age, and if you have certain ailments or habits that are already going on with your body. Now, I suggest that if you are going to take something, you take a multivitamin and make sure that it says whole food. Whole foods, that's very important because that means that it is made from food that is grown out of the ground. So when you go to GNC and places like that, a lot of that stuff is synthetic, which means it's man-made. So what happens is the vitamins, it takes vitamins that are already in your body and just transfer them to other parts of your body. When you eat something that's whole food, when you take a whole food vitamin, it actually gives you actual vitamins from food grown out of the ground. Now right now I'm taking a whole food, I'm taking Hairfinity. This stuff really works for your hair. Biotin for skin and hair. And I'm taking CoQ10. This is something I looked up. We'll talk about that later. Okay, and omega-3s. This is what I'm taking. This is what's helping me right now. All right, so let's go over to the food. And I'm going to show you what you need to prep. This is so easy to make. Now, this is all you need. You need a big pot for your orzo. As you can see here, I've already made the orzo. It's already done. Now, you want to make sure that you don't overcook it, but you do want to make sure it cooks long enough. You want to boil a huge pot of water. You need a lot of water for your orzo. I did about 2 cups. And you want to add your vegetable oil to it, to the water, and you want to add Himalayan sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt. This is the healthy kind. Now, don't add this until your water starts to boil. Then you want to add it. Okay, right now I've got all my vegetables cut up first. So in the pot, I've got some butter and some olive oil. That's the other thing you need. Olive oil. Extra virgin is the best kind, and you make sure the container is a dark container. And I like Land O'Lakes butter. It tastes really good. It's the best kind. And you just want to let that sit there for a little bit. Let your garlic not brown, but you just want to cook it just a little bit. Now, these are the vegetables I'm using. And this is the order that I'm going to put them in the skillet. So I've got some cut up squash, mushrooms. I've got carrots. I've got red carrots, yellow carrots, and orange carrots. I've got imitation crab meat. I've got some chives, just a little bit, because it's kind of an oniony taste, so I don't want too much of it. Broccoli, and my favorite, asparagus. Now, just a word on cooking a healthy meal. The more colorful your meal is, the healthier it is. And a good rule for cooking is don't overcook things. You don't overcook your pasta because it makes it mushy. Don't overcook fish and seafood because, once again, it makes it mushy and it doesn't taste as good. Don't overcook your vegetables because you'll cook out all the vitamins. So just keep that in mind. Last thing, tip before we actually start cooking is I've got some parsley. You always want to get fresh food. So pretty much the rule is for what's the healthiest is fresh, then frozen, then canned. Fresh, frozen, canned. So your parsley, basil, rosemary, thyme, your herbs, You don't have to add that to the mix. You don't have to cook it. It's actually healthier and it tastes better if you just wait until it's fully cooked and then add it. Now, this is the way we're going to do it. You're going to add the squash first. I've already washed my hands and things. And by the way, I know my eyes are a little bit red. I was outside, and this Georgia weather, it's just a lot of pollen and stuff already in the air. Now, my squash I'm going to add first. I'm going to turn up the heat slightly because the squash takes the longest to cook. So I usually add that, and I add the carrots first. So I'm going to start cooking that first. Like I said, you want lots of color. And I put these right in the middle. Now I'm going to turn up the heat. Also, what you need is, I had a spoon to store my orzo. You want to make sure that once it's boiling, you stir, stir, stir. Keep stirring because otherwise it'll stick to the bottom of your pot. And then you need a good spatula. So that's pretty much what you're going to have. Now, once this starts cooking, it takes a little bit to heat up. After you start cooking the squash, I'm just going to put it all together to save time today, but after you cook the squash and the carrots, then you're going to add the mushrooms. You're going to add the broccoli, and you do want a lot more broccoli, but I actually just cooked this dish last night, so this is all I have left. You're going to add the chives. And then you're going to add some imitation crab meat. So I have gone from being vegetarian, which means you eat vegetables, but you eat eggs and dairy. I've gone from that to being vegan, which means you don't eat any meat, and you don't eat eggs or milk. Right now, I'm actually pescaterian because I had a hard time letting go of fish and seafood. I want to suggest that you watch What the Health. It's a documentary on Netflix right now, and it will just open your eyes. If you watch this documentary, you will never eat another piece of meat in your life. And just so you know, fish is not great for you. It has like mercury poisoning. Just don't have too much of it, but definitely chicken, red meat, beef. Just watch the docu for yourself. I'm not going to eat it anymore. So anyway, okay, let's talk about our spices while this is still heating up. It's taking a little while to heat up. All right, you're going to do your pink Himalayan sea salt again. Not too much. Just a little. That stuff is great, though. Right now, I'm doing black peppercorn. Sometimes I do just mixed peppercorn, which has black and red and some other things in there. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of that. I don't measure stuff because I kind of know what I like and how much I like. I used to watch my grandma cook when I was little. All right, I'm going to put some chili powder, organic chili powder. And just want to do a good little bit there, cover it all up. Now I've got some bacon chipotle, not too much, just a dash of this. And I hope it doesn't have real bacon in it, but hopefully not. I never thought of that, but I thought it's just a seasoning. I'm going to do some oregano. Now, if you have fresh oregano, that's better. I don't have any right now, so that's why I'm using this one. I'm going to pour some of that in there. All right, and now rosemary. This is one of my favorites. You definitely want to cook this because it's going to really seal the flavor in, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. All right, so that's all the seasonings we're going to use. Now you're going to put one more splash of olive oil on there. Not too much because it really makes a lot of it once it gets to cooking. Oh, see, I had so much vegetables, I forgot one. So don't forget your asparagus. You're going to put your asparagus. That's why I use a really big skillet because I have so much going on. All right, so what you're going to do is, I can hear it's actually heating up now, so you're going to take your spatula and start flipping it, start turning it. Just going to see, you see how the squash is cooking? It's looking a lot better now. So now you feel like everything can kind of cook evenly. How do you know it's done? Pretty much, like I said, you don't want to overcook this, but you can see how the squash changes colors. It goes from white to like a darker color in the middle once that's done. Same with everything else. It's just gonna kind of tender up a little bit more. Like right now, it's probably a little bit crunchy. So you're just gonna mix all this together. We're actually almost done. And see, this is why the thing that gave me the idea to do this video was because I did a trip last week and I was flying with some girls that were like, I never take food on trips. And I'm like, I can't imagine that. Because you know, you're spending up to $20 a plate in the airports and in the hotels. So sometimes you leave so early in the day that nothing's even open. And sometimes you come in so late from a trip that once again, nothing is open. So you always need to have food with you. Now while this is cooking, I'm going to tell you a couple things you can have like in your bag that are really good to have. Okay, some other things you want to have in your bag are boiled eggs. If you're doing the pescaterian thing like me, or if you're vegan, you can just have the egg whites, throw the yellow part away. Another good thing to have are like, have a fruit bag, strawberries, blueberries. You can have an oatmeal bag and put the strawberries and blueberries in your oatmeal. Take instant grits with you, and then you can mix the instant grits with the eggs, and that's a good thing to have. And then, last thing I'm going to tell you is you want to get some containers like this. This is what I take with me. So this meal that I'm making right now, once it's done, I'm going to separate it and put it into these containers. Now these are made of glass, so you can cook these on the plane. Just take the plastic top off. You can cook these on the plane. And the crew members and your passengers are going to be so jealous. They're going to be like, what am I smelling? It smells so good. Okay, now this is almost ready. Now you need to put just a little bit more toppings on it. Also, just a word, if you stop eating dairy like I did, something that's really good that tastes kind of cheesy is nutritional yeast. Now that's what I've heard, that's what I've been told. I actually haven't tried it yet. I'm just putting this up so it doesn't melt. Okay, I put some more salt. You want to do more black pepper. Just want to make sure you season it up really well. I have one more seasoning. It's Italian herbs, and it's everything mixed together. It's like rosemary, thyme, tomato. There's some parsley in there. I'm going to put this, and then your last ingredient, we're almost done. Now you're going to add your fresh parsley. So you didn't want to overcook that. Had you put it in too soon, you would have overcooked it. Now it's just going to make it taste absolutely delicious because we didn't overcook it. Let's put a little bit more in. This is actually done now, so just going to flip it a few more times. Can you see that? Just make sure that it's done. Make sure that squash isn't too white. Make sure everything is kind of brown, kind of delicious. All right, now I'm going to put this on a plate and let you see how it looks. All right, here's your orzo. Orzo is really good. It's like a cross between rice and pasta. There's your orzo. It's kind of stuck together there. I did wash my hands, by the way. Okay, and then you just put this on top. And voila, it's done. This probably look better in a bowl, but anyway, it's very delicious. This is delicious, it's healthy, it's colorful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be back with some more flight attendant information. Everybody have a great day.